right, so today we are going to sous vide a beef tri-tip from good old Costco. I actually purchased this a couple weeks ago. It has a date of, I want to say June the 7th. So we are good enough in time to go ahead and use this beautiful piece of meat. I'm going to try an experiment, and I'm going to actually sous vide this tri-tip in its original packaging. Now, most instructions will tell you to repackage in a not a Ziploc bag, but a airtight bag. This packaging is pretty much airtight, so it has all the juices and it's been marinating in all this yummy spice. So I think that I just want to try to see what it would be like to leave it in its original packaging and give it a whirl. So today we're going to set our sous vide water bath at 130 degrees. We're going for a rare tri-tip. We're going to sous vide this for the next 6.5 hours. And then we're gonna put it on the barbecue and see how it comes out. So stay tuned for the process. So we have the water bath ready to go. We just need to get the temperature up to 130 degrees. We are going to allow the meat to rest for about an hour just before we put it into the water bath. So the water will be at temperature. This will have sat for 1 hour before we place it into our water bath. Stay tuned. So we get this ready. Typically what I do is I go ahead and I fill my water bath with hot water just to make the process a little bit quicker. I'm going to set this at 130.5 degrees. We're going to turn it on. I don't know if you can hear that buzzing sound, but that means that the water is circulating. I'm going to let this sit here for probably 10 minutes or so, and then we will drop this guy inside this water bath. Call out is the water has to be above the air lines on the actual sous vide tool. I'm not quite sure what they call this, but you have to make sure that the water is above the two lines on the tool so that you don't have just air pushing, but that you're actually circulating the water. So we've got that going. Again, we've set this at 130 degrees 0.5, and it's working its way right on up. Watching and waiting for the temperature to reach 130.5 degrees. Alrighty, now that we have reached our cooking temperature of 130.5 degrees, we're going to go ahead and drop this beautiful guy in there. Again, we are going to cook this for about 6.5 hours. My goal is to have the most tender piece of beef possible. We will leave it in this bath again for the next 6.5, 7 hours. Once it's done in here, we're going to take it off. We're going to unpackage it. We're going to take it to the barbecue. We're just going to grill it on each side for about a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and give it a whirl. So let's put this bad boy in his bath. And again, we're just leaving it in the packaging that it originally came in. Sinks right on down to the bottom. I will go ahead and put I really don't need to put the rack in, but we'll go ahead and do it just to make sure that it doesn't find its way to swim upwards. Put the lid back on. I just spilled warm water on my feet. Just goes to show that nothing is perfect in this house. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer for 7 hours just to give it time to do its thing, and then we'll come back, we'll take it out of the bath and continue on. All right, so we have been swimming in our bath water at 130.5 degrees for the last 7 hours. It is time to turn this off. And we are going to take this beautiful big old chunk of meat out. Probably need a pair of tongs, and I actually have a good pair. This is hot, but not so hot that I can't touch it. All those juices have been in here for 7 hours. All right. We'll grab a knife and take it with us outside. Okay, so we've got the barbecue going. We've got it warming up. It's at about 320 degrees. I was kind of hoping for about 350, but it's okay. We will be just fine. We are gonna take this. This is probably gonna just erupt because it's amazing. I'm trying to do as much as possible without making too much of a mess. And basically all we're gonna do is put this on the grill for about a minute on each side. We don't need it to cook anymore. All we're doing is just getting some grill marks or char marks on it. I'm trying to think of how to do this without making a big mess with all the liquid. So now, set the timer for 1 minute. Close this up. All right, now that we have been on the grill for a minute, I know how to stop a fire. We just turn the grill off. It's all that fat. Yep. I don't want to burn myself. Oh. Woo. Another minute. We're just going to give it a second. Okay, we are not going to let this sit much longer because we don't want to burn it. Look at those beautiful grill marks. This here, my friends, is a tri-tip. This is your rare tri-tip. We're going to cut into it and show you just how perfectly and evenly cooked it is. I'm just going to cut right down the middle. So oftentimes when you bake a tri-tip, your ends will be more cooked than the middle. Just demo you an end here. Show you how it's exactly the same. And there you have it. This is supper. We'll let you know how it tastes. Guest appearance by Gretch.
Hola. Guest appearance.
Cameo by Mr. Otis. Can you say hello? Say hi.
So cute.
Oh, you're such a good boy. Alrighty, so now is time for the real test. How does it taste? We'll give you a review once we're done with supper. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for future notifications.